Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time with my good friend Omar. How you doing, Omar?
Pretty good. What's up? How are you, Michael? What's up, everybody?
Hey, man, things are going good. I wanted to share with you something I found from one of my other experts. One of my other experts, the lumberjack landlord, last week walked through a house hack he did in 2010, how that house hack, he was able to take all his money out via cash out refi about 2 years later. He then went in and took, basically equity out of that, bought some more real estate. And basically he showed us how he turned 15 grand into almost 200 grand in about 8 or 9 years. So what I did is I went way back to 2002 and I revisited Norris Drive, which is a house I've talked about many times because it was the first one we ever bought. But what I'm going to do in this example is I'm going to walk you through a PowerPoint kind of step by step how Norris Drive turned into something much larger than 20 grand. You ready to do it?
Let's go. I love it. Can't wait to hear this.
Yeah, because how many times have you heard people say real estate's too slow? You can't make any money in it. Cash flow, this or that. It's too slow. I mean, how many times you hear stuff like that?
All the time.
All right. Well, here we go. Right. So this is it. Hopefully you can see it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull up Norris Drive. And I've actually captured the Zillow page.
Beautiful.
My purchase was done on December 11th, 2002, there on the bottom right for 107 grand.
Okay.
You see it there?
Yeah.
Something it also shows you is I sold it less than 3 years later for 264. Crazy, right?
Right. That's at the peak. Okay.
Yeah,
We're
right.
getting close to the peak.
Yeah, it actually goes all the way up to 300. So I didn't get the last 15%, but
It's fine.
I was okay, right? But what's not in this story, which we'll get to in the middle, is in between 2002 and 2005, I did a cash out refi, which allowed me to extract capital, right?
Okay.
So let's just walk through this. So, okay,
Yeah.
everybody knows I bought Norris Drive. I put 20K down because I didn't know any better. I got an 80% loan. Rent was 1,100. My cash flow was about 225, right? My first deal. I'm so happy. I wrote about it in the book, right? Here it is. But now I've never really done this before. So let me kind of walk this through, and please stop me anywhere you want and ask questions because I've never walked anybody through this. So in 2004, so right between when I bought and when I sold, I did a cash out refi. The property, as I recall, was worth about 180.
Okay. So 50K.
Yep. So I took 50K out, which step one, I made Norris Drive an alligator, right? I write about it in the book. I took too much cash out. I now have to cut a check out of my personal, I'm taking money out of my savings to pay the mortgage. I'm annoyed. But what I don't tell people a lot is I actually bought 2 houses with that cash. Right? With me so far?
Yep.
Okay. So in mid 2004, I bought Terrace for about 150K. I think it was 148. And then I bought Clinton, which I think was 151, maybe something about 150. And this time I only spent 10% down. Okay. Cash flow on each of these houses is 150 a month. And oh, by the way, I still have $20,000, right? I get 50K from Norris. I spend 30K here. So I still have 20K left over, right? Okay. So that first 20K that I invested way back in 2002 is now 20K cash. I have 20K cash in my account, and I have 3 single family homes. Norris Drive is negative cash flow, but I have 20% equity, right? So I still have equity of 20%, and I have 10% equity in Terrace in Clinton. So far, not a bad deal, right? 20 grand's turned into 3 houses. And oh, by the way, I have the 20 grand back. Pretty cool story so far, right?
Beautiful. Yes.
Right. It's a lot more to come because I've been doing this a while. So next thing I do is I sell Norris Drive, right? I sell Norris Drive for 264. Instead of selling it, I do a 1031 exchange. I do a 1031 exchange, which I have about 100K in proceeds. I move that into a 5-plex.
Okay. That's freaking sick.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. So now it's late 2005. I sell Norris Drive, which is negative cash flow. It's an alligator. Now the fiveplex in 2005 produces 1,200. So I'm now $1,500 positive one direction. Right? Because I got rid of an alligator and now I'm 1,200 up.
Beautiful.
Right? That was a good day when I got rid of that. Now I get to 1031 Terrace and Clinton because both of those have appreciated, right? If people read my book, what do I do when the market's high? I sell, right? When it's unaffordable, I sell. So Terrace, it became a 10-unit building. Oh, by the way, seller financing. So I moved the 100K into a 500K.
In 2006.
In 2006, yes, 6. This became a 10-unit building, which actually I still own today. A seller wanted out. They wanted 20% down, which, oh, by the way, was $100,000. So it was a 500K purchase. And he gave me great financing and we were good to go. Clinton actually became a 13-unit building, which actually you'll see in a minute, I sold it in 19. So far that 20 grand is doing pretty good for us. Don't you think?
Yeah. Phenomenal work. This is cool. This is an awesome breakdown.
And this, and again, we did this, obviously we did this several times, but the whole idea here is people need to, and I talk about do the work, focus, daily discipline, live below your means. But the whole thing here is once you're in the market, you can let the market help you grow your wealth. I call it recycling capital. So now 2014, we refied the 10-unit building because the seller wants cash out. The original note was 10 years. They asked if we could refi them out in 8. We did. They gave us a little break. So we refied the building. Our payment actually went down and we got 50K because the building appreciated in 8 years. So again,
nice.
We get another 50K. So the 13-unit building, we also choose to refinance. We actually just do a rate and term. So no money out, but our payment goes down $900. Not a bad deal.
$900.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was pretty good. So 2019, I choose to sell the 13-unit building to raise cash because I think there's
freaking dope.
Yeah. And oh, by the way, the building needed $200,000 in immediate investment. I'm like, I don't want to do it. The area, I didn't want to be in that area of town anymore. And it needed 200 grand. So I'm like, take it. Some syndication came through or somebody with too much money got stupid, overpaid. So I was happy to get out. Yeah.
Nice.
And then 2021, we just refied the 10-unit building again, this time pulling out 150 grand, and our payment only went up $400.
So you pulled out 200,000 there.
Yeah. Total. Yeah. Yep.
Correct.
Yeah. 50 and then 150.
Yeah, total. Yeah. That's phenomenal. And it only went up 400. Jeez.
Yeah. So again, my original 200 grand
there's a little bit of a
little bit. Okay. Yeah. So my original 220 grand was used over and over and over again. And also it brought friends right along, right? More cash. And I just kept investing it in real estate, right? I didn't take it out to buy cars or fancy trips. I just kept buying more. So that first 20 grand, this is the summary of what it is today. That first 20 grand produces about $4,000 in cash a month today, a month, right? It added over 20 units to our current portfolio that we still hold. It added 100 grand in cash and $500,000 in equity, all from that first 20K.
Dude, like you can't reproduce this. You can, but you just got to be very, very smart. This is phenomenal work, man. Yeah. I mean, a $4,500, just say $3,500 a month, Michael, on this. That's 35. I mean, you're making 120%, 120% annually on that $20,000.
Yeah, and that's obviously because we've actually lowered rates. We've raised, I mean, just think about what rents are from 2002 when we started to today, right? I mean, once you have fixed rate debt, it's all good. Yeah.
This is awesome.
So again, the whole point of this is I want people to realize that time in markets beats timing the market. How many people say I'm waiting for the bottom? I'm waiting for the bottom. I actually did transactions at the peak of the market, as you correctly said. I kept moving stuff around. I also believe it's always a great day to, it's always a great day to buy a great deal. And then lastly, folks, you got to buy my course. You got to do the work and you got to join the private Facebook group. People are rocking and rolling in there, and it's time. Stop wasting your time. This 20 grand turned into almost $1 million when you add in cash and equity and all of that. And everybody can do something like this. Will your returns be as much as this? Who knows? But they're not going to be zero. So that's what I'm thinking.
They won't be zero. That's it right there. That's pretty cool freaking slideshow, honestly. I was over here taking notes, and I'm sitting here like, damn, okay. Immediately, I'm just like this. I'm going to do that to this one, that to this one. I mean, same, because you bought that 10 units in 06 at the peak.
I did.
And honestly, because you sold high, but you traded, though, one unit for 10 units.
And I got rid of negative cash flow for positive. Pretty cool.
Just fucking crazy, man.
I
wrote this down: 1 to 5, 1 to 10, 1 to 13.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Yeah,
great work, Michael.
Thank you for that.
Great work.
Yeah, and again, I keep telling people now's the time to get in. The 30-year debt's going to be your friend. The other thing that's not really mentioned in this is I did a refi and my rate went up on that first refi, the one on Norris Drive where I took out 50 grand or whatever it was. So I've done refis into a higher rate environment. It was slightly higher, but you just got to do what makes sense. And again, that 50 grand. So I put 20 in, I take 50 out, I use 30 to buy 2, and I still have the 20 grand, right? I got nothing in the deal for 3 houses, and those 3 houses become crazy. Yeah. So I just want people to realize how powerful it is. It's time in the market. A lot of people get all worked up about getting one deal and then trying to save up for the second deal. We only had 40 grand when we started. That was 3 houses. And then everything else we've done from there, for the most part, has been how to reuse that money over and over again, right? So I just want people to realize what's possible. When you stay in the game, you watch your portfolio, you look at debt, you move equity around, and frankly, you don't get stupid with money. Something you never saw in that story is we never bought a crazy car. We didn't do a vacation. We didn't upgrade our primary home. We sacrificed, and it paid off.
Dude, that's just phenomenal work, man.
Thank you very much.
I'm taking these notes right now, man. Time in the market will outbeat timing in the market.
For sure.
That right there is the best freaking advice ever.
Yeah. I appreciate it, man. What I'm going to do in episode number 2 is we're going to talk about summer of 2022. About 12 months from now, we're going to ask you 8 questions. We're going to see what Omar's thinking. All right. Thanks, buddy.